One of the least used tactical grenades in all of Call of Duty Ghosts is the smoke grenade. Most people consider it not worthwhile and useless, but did you know that smoke can protect you from the Vulture, the sentry gun, and the IMS kill streaks? Granted, once the smoke starts to clear, they all three will target you instantly, as seen here in these clips. Smoke can be quite useful if used correctly. It can also be the most frustrating aspect of one particular patch. Interested? Let's go. The Smoke 'em if you got 'em patch. One of my more requested patches from you guys. And believe me, I can see why. The official patch description states, kill 20 enemies inside your smoke screen. So it's a little vague in that it does not specify who must be in the smoke screen, but we'll cover that in just a second. To make matters worse, it's extremely glitchy. So this challenge just sucks. It's one of the coolest looking patches in the game, and it can also be one of the most difficult to obtain. So after literally hours of gameplay, I only managed to achieve 7 out of the required 20 kills. The struggle to get it only makes it that much more satisfying when you finally do unlock it. So, what exactly do you have to do for this challenge to register? Let's take a look. There are at least 4 scenarios that are possible. The first one, which most people assume is the correct way to do this patch, is you yourself inside the smoke, killing someone outside of the smoke. To me, it's the most logical way to do this, but it definitely does not count towards this patch. This will not work. The second scenario is cold-cocking someone directly with a smoke grenade. I read this a lot in my research for this patch. People say that if you hit someone directly with the smoke grenade, it counts as them being in the smoke, even if they are half the map away. So the idea is to nail them with a direct impact and then kill them. And supposedly, no matter where they are, even if not in the smoke anymore, it will still count. I could not get this to work, despite doing it several times. Scenario number 3 is both you and your enemy inside the same smoke screen and you killing him. So I had very iffy results on this one. My conclusion is a question mark. In some games this method worked and it counted towards the patch. In other matches it didn't count at all. So this could be due to the glitchy nature of this patch, but if you find yourself in this situation, it's definitely worth a shot to try it out. And lastly, scenario number 4. You outside the smoke screen, killing someone inside the smoke screen. This one is tricky to achieve due to your enemy having to actively enter the smoke, or remain in the smoke if you sneak up on them. This one is the only proven method that worked for me 100% of the time, provided you deploy the smoke correctly. So how do I know that this method works? Well, it's simple. When you finally get the 20th kill, it notifies you. So I just noted what I was doing at that time, which in my case was standing outside the smoke with my enemy inside the smoke. My God, I'm exhausted already, and we've only covered what to do in order to make kills count towards this patch. Let's get on with the advice. So since we now know the method to make kills count, let's take advantage of that. I suggest you play Domination. Hover over or hide near one of the flags, and when it notifies you, or when you see someone capping the flag nearest to you, pop out and drop a smoke grenade directly on him. Let the smoke disperse a second and hope that he isn't one of the 10% of the people using the incog perk and spray him down. And that reminds me, use the tracker sight, not the thermal scope. The thermal scope, in my opinion, is much harder to use than the tracker sight because you can't perceive depth very well and most kills end up being outside of the smoke screen, which doesn't count. So if Domination is not your cup of tea, then try Drop Zone. Wait for the enemy to take the drop zone and then throw a smoke grenade in there and wait a couple of seconds for it to disperse. Then throw a grenade in there or shoot a rocket launcher or even noob tube into the smoke. And yes, explosives do count. Or you could just tracker sight them if you don't wish to use explosives. So Drop Zone is great for this patch because it draws the enemy to one location on the map. However, this game mode might be removed at some point, so I hesitate to suggest this. What I do suggest, however, is to always run 2 smoke grenades with the extra tactical perk. You'll want to use reflex for sure, as you throw the smoke extremely slow without it. You want to get that grenade out of your hand and disperse it as fast as you can. So my last bit of advice is to let the smoke deploy. Your enemy has to be fully inside the smoke screen. And that's where this patch gets frustrating, because it's tough to tell when your enemy is fully engulfed in the smoke. While on your screen you may see him all the way in the smoke, he could be seeing something different on his screen, and it won't count if you kill him. So as I mentioned, hardly anyone runs the incog perk, so you shouldn't have any trouble lighting your enemies up in the smoke with the tracker sight. Do be advised, however, that people adapt. Try not to use smoke too many times against the same people. From what I've seen, people always make the anti-smoke class, and then you won't be able to see them. So this is a frustrating patch, let me just warn you. The glitchy nature of when kills count is rage-inducing. It's hard to make your enemy stay in the smoke, but that's exactly what has to happen. So even if you surprise an enemy and drop smoke on them, they can easily step out of it and ruin your day. Good luck with this one, and smoke them if you got them. Click on the video above to see my last patch, which is how to get the quick-witted or throwaway patch. I just have to mention that while I was doing commentary on this, I was actually in the Kia dealership getting a warranty fixed on my car, and there were at least 4 elderly folks waiting in the same lobby as me while I was recording, and let me tell you, I think they thought I was insane. I kept mentioning throwing smoke at people and shooting people and spraying people. Just a word of friendly advice: don't talk about murdering people in a fantasy video game in public.